Peter here, aka Peter Freakout 10, bringing another episode of the Movie Review Show, with the good movies are always reviewed. Okay, back into their movie review, and I continue in my summer movie reviews, baby. Hell yes. Alright, now on today's episode, as you guys can tell, I'm wearing a different sort of apparel today because today I'm finally graduating from high school. Hell yeah, baby. It's been a long way coming, but finally made it. Finally able to walk down the stage and grab my diploma and wave goodbye to high school, my friends, and actually enter adulthood. Something I never thought I could do, but here I am, finally. But I figured before I go, might as well do a review of a film, and today, since I'm graduating, I figured I'd pick a film that really displays the fun part of school. And no, it's not learning and the books and the teachers whacking you with the ruler. It's the parties you can have when you're with your friends, the teachers that you do like, that you could talk to, and how school can be so much fun when you're not in that sight, when you're not in that light. And I figured I'd review a film that displays all that, and really displays, defines the fun you can have when you're with your friends at school, and really defines my excitement to graduate and me being with my friends. Okay, maybe not as crazy as this film, but you get my point. And I decided I picked this film because I never talk about this film that much. I literally never talk about this film that much. Granted, I might have brought it up a couple times, but I never gone full in depth and given my thoughts on this film. And that really surprises me because this is a film that everybody talks about and everybody says is one of the funniest movies of all time. And another reason is because I never actually sat down and watched this film, and that's really saying a lot because I've seen a lot of films, and I decided I'd check it out because so many people in my family love this film, give it rave reviews, and so many people online, as I said, have said it's one of the funniest movies of all time. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And what film is that, you may ask? That film is none other than National Lampoon's Animal House, baby. Heck yeah. But yeah, as I said, this film has left a legacy among many people. So many people adore this film. So many people consider this movie to be one of the funniest films ever made. And it's a film that I think for a lot of people defines how much fun college life can be when you're not in school, and is really relatable for that. That's why so many people love this film so much, along with the great quotes, which we'll get to. But getting into the film, National Lampoon's Animal House was a film made back in 1978, and I cannot believe who this is directed by, well, seeing his other films, but the film that introduced me to this guy before I saw this really surprised me, because this is directed by John Landis, and I'm surprised about that because even though he directed Trading Places, The Blues Brothers, with another film with this guy, which we will say his name, but he directed The Blues Brothers, he directed Beverly Hills Cop 3. My introduction to him was from freaking American Werewolf in London, a classic werewolf film, and probably my all-time favorite werewolf film. But before that, this was his first major... Was it his first major step? I could be wrong. No, before this, he was acting, but his directorial debut was Kentucky Fried Home, which I haven't seen. But this was the film that got him on the map. But yeah. Beverly Hills Cop 3 I haven't seen, which I want to do a review on. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and from what I've seen, you'll see my opinion on it. But, Trading Places I haven't seen, which I want to see, because I like Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop, but now that I've seen Animal House, after so many people have said what has to be said, what do I have to say about it? I can now say that I love this film. I do. I think this film is hilarious, and this is one of the funniest comedies of all time. And no, I'm not just saying that because so many other people have said it. Each and every review I do, I give my own opinion. Sometimes I'll jump on the bandwagon, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll give my own opinion, sometimes I'll agree with some people. But with this film, I could definitely understand why so many people like it, if you guys saw the beginning. But anyway, I'll get into all that later. But anyway, the film stars John Belushi, who would later work again with John Landis in The Blues Brothers. Sadly, after that, was this after? Sadly, after a few roles, like one of them being on a special appearance police squad, he sadly died of a drug overdose because he was battling depression and drugs was what he was taking, which is really sad that he's not with us anymore because the guy was a great actor. Definitely really funny too, and it's sad that so many people die of drug overdoses because they're depressed or don't know how to handle themselves. Like John Belushi, Chris Farley in particular is someone I miss dearly. Really sucks what happened to him too. But what's sad is that Chris Farley idolized John Belushi and even tried to incorporate that with Tommy Boy, which is another film I actually want to review. I actually plan to pick up the VHS tape for that, but it just sucks that you have so much and then and everybody thinks you're good, but then behind your back you have depression, you're taking drugs, and it's like, wow. But yeah, moving on, you also have Tim Matheson, who was in Black Sheep, another film I actually want to take a look at. He was the brother of Chris Farley's character in that film. You have John Vernon from, who I don't know anything about, he was in Dirty Harry. Shut up! He was in Dirty Harry. He was also in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I haven't seen that film. But this is the role I know him in. I haven't seen Dirty Harry or The Outlaw Joe C. Wallace. But moving on, you also have Thomas Hulse in this, or Tom Hulse, if you guys know him by that. He was in Parenthood. I know him best from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He was Quasimodo in that, the Disney version, which, that's a classic. You have Caesar Denova. You have Donald Sutherland in this film, who would later go on to be in Virus. The first cut of this, I was actually kind of surprised that I forgot that he was in Virus, because I was like, haven't I heard that name before? And yeah, there he is. Other actors you have, you also have Karen Allen, Peter Rygard, Kevin Bacon. This was his film debut before he would go on to do Full House. Footloose. He was also in Friday the 13th. He was also in Tremors, classic. What else? He was also in Balto, of course. White Air Up There, which I haven't seen. I know of it because I see it on the net. But this was like where he started, and this was like this is completely different from the roles that Kevin Bacon I've seen playing now, because in this film he's more of a geek, whereas with other films he's more of like kind of like a more, I wouldn't say stuck up, but he's definitely how do I put it? He's more kind of like lighthearted and kind of full of himself, because there are films where he is full of himself, and more on the side of like, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I get you. Like, kind of a smooth talking kind of guy. But here he's more of a nerd, and that's definitely easy to see through his character. But moving forward, I'll get to why I enjoy this film, and definitely think it's one of the funniest films ever made. Surprisingly, its jokes still hold up, and it's definitely still a funny film. And I could definitely pop it in today and still laugh at it. But anyway, the basic plot of the film is basically this. It basically follows the day in the college life of the Delta House, led by John Belushi, named Bluto. And each of them are party dudes, they're party animals, they play pranks on the house next to them. Basically, they're in a rivalry between them, like, and it basically they take things to the extreme. They're fighting they're basically fighting to see who's the better dorm. And as that's going on, you also have the dean, played by I just said his name, John Vernon, who is obsessed with getting them off the campus because of, like, so much that's happening, so many of the jokes going on, and basically, as that's going on, we see the Delta Squad, not the Delta Squad, the Omega crowd now trying to hatch a scheme to basically get them off the campus. And the film basically follows them as they're partying and trying to get there, and basically trying to fight for themselves and fight to stay on campus. And that's pretty much the plot. It's really nothing special. It's nothing like, like, it's a big action-y type of film. It's really more of like, the day in the life of these guys as they're at college and how they're dealing with the life there. And as simple as the story is, I think it's really enjoyable to watch these guys as they fight against another dorm who is picking on them and making them look bad. And I think it's really well done. It's definitely funny, the shenanigans that go on. Whereas a lot of films, they tend to make a mistake that if they use the same antics, the film would be funnier. But with this film, what I really like about it, well, some recent comedies, I should say, like A Guy Thing or The New Guy, they kind of reuse the same joke over and over and over again. This one I enjoyed. I really like how with this film, like, it attempts to try new humor. It attempts to go with different styles of humor. It could be raunch, it could be kind of like pratfalls and whatnot, but it really feels different with each scene. It doesn't feel like it's being shoved in the face. It attempts to comedy, please the people watching, and it introduce people to a new kind of genre with each scene, new kind of comedy genre, because comedy can be done in different ways, and I really enjoy that about this film. And it's definitely funny, and it definitely has some gross humor in some scenes, which I'll talk about later, all of which are contributed by John Belushi. But the story, while nothing special, it's really generic, not generic in a bad way, generic in a good way, because it's really unique how it's handled here. It's still really well done, and still really well written. I think this film shows John Landis' capable direction as a comedy director, and I think he does it really, really well with this film. And the acting in the film is also top-notch. I really like John Belushi. John Belushi's the friggin' star of this film. He's the funniest part of this film. Like, the few scenes of him just being John Belushi, and just hamming it up, and just being a fun character. It's just so much fun to watch. It gets funnier with each scene, and and you laugh at the antics that go on with him. Like the one scene when you first meeting and he's peeing on the guys that he first meets, like he's peeing and then he turns around like this and he's like pees on them. That scene was hilarious. This scene where he's giving them their names, just itching there. Sorry. The scene where he's giving them their names, and he's like, "You're Pinto," and that scene had me laughing. Or the funniest scene, the cafeteria part. To me, the funniest part of the whole film, where he puts that food in his mouth, and he's like, "What am I?" Like, before he does that, and punches his mouth, and like the food splatters on the Omega crowd. "I'm a zit." That scene was hilarious. But John Belushi gives such great energy to this film that it's hard to see anybody else doing this. I mean, I doubt they'll remake this film in the future, but it's hard to see anybody else doing it but John Belushi. And then you get some of the other characters in the film, like Tim Matheson and like Tom Hulce. Tom Hulce is like this one guy who's really nerdy, and he's trying to get with this girl, especially when they have that one night together, and he has to carry her home in a carriage. That's, like, you can tell this guy is just a nerd and really doesn't know how to get around, and it's really funny seeing him. It's really funny seeing him in that role. It's really funny seeing him trying to achieve all that, especially the antics that he has to go through. And I think the film makes great uses of its characters. I think it explores each character well. Each one is defined really well by their acting, and each one is able to basically give a specific characteristic and not just be like, oh, there's the nerd, there's the drama queen. It does it in a way where it's written smart, and I really enjoy that about this film. So, yeah. And there's never a point where it feels like they're annoying or they're hamming it up or they're being like, or you're like, shut up. There's never a point like that. And I really commend the film for that, because a lot of films do that. But the other characters, like John Vernon as the dean, who's like this sort of loudmouth dean that even Jeffrey Jones from Ferris Bueller's Day Off would find annoying. But he's definitely the loudmouth, and I mean, yeah, he's annoying, but he's doing his job, and it's like, you know, like, it's hard to hate on the guy because he's doing his job, and I think any dean would react the way he's reacting, and the guy playing him does a great job. And you got Donald Sutherland as one of the teachers who's like a pothead who does drugs. You even seeing him, he has sex with one of the students. Like, I was like, holy hell, they actually did that? Wow. I guess in the 1970s, the ratings weren't as strict as they are today. Like, you can't have that. Or people were more like kind of like with humor, like not as offensive, and would just enjoy laughing with it. But yeah. But it's really well done. It's definitely a really well made film. A lot of the other actors are really well done. Like, you have the character of D-Day, who's like this one guy this guy right here who kind of has like an army motif going. Kevin Bacon as Chip, who's like the general. Thank you, sire. Give me some more. That guy. As you see that one scene where he has to get into the house, they have to smack him with that one thing. Tim Matheson is like more the smart one of the group, and again, each of them give their characteristics really well and are not just like doing it by their action, just by how they're explaining each other, just by the moments that they share and whatnot. I think it's more well done than just putting them in like saying like, oh, this guy's a goth, because he has piercings on him, and really showing him drink or talk about stuff like that. I think it works better when you just explore the characteristic and really just display why this character is doing what he is, and really just commend it by doing that. And that's what I love about this film. So overall, the acting is solid. The jokes never get old. You'll find yourself laughing a ton watching this film. And and it's well made, well shot, even for like a $3 million film, because this film was like $3 million in budget. Whew. It was a pretty risky endeavor, but still, it's really well made. It definitely really offers a lot of funny scenes, and it's definitely a film that I think anybody who's leaving college or is leaving high school can pop in and laugh and really explore, really see what other people are going to go through, I should say, in terms of partying and whatnot. Granted, it might not be as crazy as this, but they'll still be have their crazy moments. So overall, Animal House is a hilarious film. Definitely one that anybody can enjoy, and definitely has a place. And in terms of cons, I can say the film ends a little too fast, and you just get, I know the whole thing was they explored the characters and what they go through. I think it would have been better if they just did like a scene of them just showing their future and whatnot, and not just made it like that, because I felt like they could have done more with that, but which is showing them their future. But still, because just to put it there, I just feel it's a little too lazy. It might not, I don't know if it was John Landis' idea, or if it was the writer, or if they didn't have the money to show their future, but I felt it could have been done much better. But overall, I still think it's a funny film that definitely should be watched by anybody looking for a comedy, or if you like National Lampoon films, you're definitely going to like Animal House. Either way, I highly recommend you check out National Lampoon's Animal House. This film is a classic. Either way, I give National Lampoon's Animal House a 9.5 out of 10. It therefore gets my seal of approval. And definitely one that I think anybody should pop in if they like John Belushi, if you like John Landis, or if you're looking for a good comedy about college life, you're definitely going to like Animal House. So yeah. That's my review for National Lampoon's Animal House, and next time I'm going to do a review on another National Lampoon film, National Lampoon's Vacation, because summer's here, going to continue on that, and then I'm going to review Dumb and Dumber, in preparation before I review Dumb and Dumber this month, and I'll be sure to tell you guys what I think of that. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of National Lampoon's Animal House. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.